Hello, bonjour, namaste, ni hao, and ohio everybody. What is going on? It is Galeriot here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Danmachi Memoria Freese video. And today I'm going to be going over all the news and announcements made during the JP live stream. Now, I actually didn't get an opportunity to watch the JP live stream because I was outside with family. If you guys haven't read the community post I made a couple of days ago, I mentioned that I'm only going to be able to upload a video a day, maybe two, depending on the situation. I will be able to only upload a certain amount of videos a day, and as a result, today was one of those days. Basically, I was outside, I was in London touching grass, and as a result I actually couldn't watch the live stream, but I did see some of the announcements that they made through Twitter and of course Discord as well. So today we're going to be going all over all of those news pieces and announcements because some of it was very exciting and very interesting. So of course, if you guys go on to enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel for more Danmachi and Danmachi Memoria Freese content, and of course leave a comment down below. Let me know if you guys are excited for this week's updates, and of course let me know as well, are you guys gonna summon on the upcoming banner? Because of course there is an upcoming banner, and it's probably one of the most important banners to summon on. Now, the first thing that they started off this live stream with was going over the recent events that happened in game and a ongoing event in game that came out a couple of days ago, and that is of course the Dungeon Memoria Sing For Me My Wolf event, the April Fool's event. They spoke about it a little bit, and it's just a reminder for you guys to actually also do the event because it's going away this Thursday and it's a free 400 iris. So make sure you guys do the event because it's really well worth it in all honesty. So make sure you guys do it. 400 iris for free right there for you to get and potentially use on this banner. Now of course this bed banner has a free 11 draw that you can do first and foremost, but the second thing you can do is use 100 free iris. Ignore the fact that it says 100 paid iris, that's just an April Fool's meme. You can use 100 free iris, but this unit is actually an easy MLB and it's not going to return. But also on top of that, usually April Fool's units are pretty mid, but this one is actually somewhat usable, especially on an ailment team. So I really wouldn't blame you if you decided to pull on this unit because he's actually somewhat useful. So maybe you could just use the 400 iris you get here and try and get him to MLB because it'll only cost you 400 iris at most, because all multis are guaranteed, including the free multi, right? So first and foremost, you will get a guaranteed bet for free basically, right? And on top of that, for each multi you do, you're guaranteed a bet. Now on top of that, the draw rate is much higher than the normal draw rate. It's a 5% draw rate to get bet, so you should be able to get bet MLB even before 400 iris. But of course, worst case scenario, you only get the guaranteeds. It'll only cost you 400 iris to get him MLB. It's a free MLB unit and a relatively okay one at that, to be honest. So make sure you try and get him. In all honesty, I think it'll be well worth it. But it's up to you at the end of the day. It's up to you to make the decision on whether or not you want to get him. Now, they also spoke a little bit about what's going to be coming up in game. Now, the Sword Oratory Volume 10 event came out 2 weeks ago, so there was no chance we were going to get something new this week. It was most likely going to be either a rerun or, of course, a Hero Festa unit in relation to the Sword Oratory Volume 10 banner. Now, what if I told you they said yes to both, basically? So the first thing that they announced was the Familiar Chronicle episode Freya rerun event. It is going to be coming back. You will be able to get 400 iris for basically completing all the quests in part 1, and then in part 2 you will get a Freya part 2 4-star guaranteed 11 draw ticket, which is actually really good because you have Ollie to summon on, you have Otoro to summon on. These are some really decent units, so it's kind of good value, to be quite honest, to go and get this free 11 draw ticket because you could be getting something really good right there. Now the way it works is the first part is going to release this Thursday on the 6th of February 6th of April, not February, we're not in Feb. 6th of April up until the 11th of May, and then part 2 will go from the 20th of April all the way to the 11th of May. Now this leads to some more answers than questions actually, because the way I was thinking what was going to be coming up, in all honesty, I had no idea. The way I was thinking about what was going to come up was that I actually had no idea what was coming up. So this actually answers a couple of my questions in regards to what's going to be coming up, because right now Sword Oratoria is going all the way up until the 20th of April, right? So what I expect to happen is after the 20th of April, we'll probably get a new event that will go up until the end of May. And then after the 11th of May, which is when this episode Freya event rerun ends, we're going to be getting the 5th anniversary rerun, which is of course going to go on for a full month, because we're going to have part 1, part 2, part 3, and then of course an extra story featuring 2 new 5th anniversary units that we'll never have seen before. So that is exactly how I expect it to be. This definitely answers a lot more questions than answers, and then rather questions more, I should say. It answers a lot more questions than raising more questions, I should say. I think I said that wrong the first time, but yeah, I think this is going to be very, very exciting. And on top of that, it's free iris basically for us to take into the anniversary event as well. So yeah, like it says, part 1 will give you 400 iris, part 2 gives us a 4-star guaranteed 11 draw ticket for the part 2 gacha banner. So this is part 1's gacha banners. Of course, I think if I had to summon on either of these, I'd probably summon on the first one to just see if I can get the Freya, because the Freya is still relatively decent, even though she's been power crept a little bit by the new Lyra from the anime gacha banner. I think she's still relatively decent value, so I really wouldn't blame you going for her if you're trying to build up a magic team. The rest of these units are okay at best, to be quite honest. At this point in the game's life cycle and the meta that we're in, yeah, Alfric, Hedin, and Hogni are all just okay, to be quite honest. They're all just okay. So yeah, Freya, Hedin, Hegni, and Alfric, or Hogni, depending on how you pronounce it, because the actual Yen Press translations translated as Hogni, but Danmemo does it as Hegni. So it's up to you to, pronounce his name however you want, really. So yeah, Freya Part 2 Gacha is of course going to feature Ali, Otoro, and Alan. Ali and Otoro are still really, really solid units, so I would suggest trying to do a couple of multis on this banner to get both of them, to be honest. I would say that would be a really, really good idea on all of your ends, honestly. I would definitely say that. Alright, now we move on to the latest info, part 2, and this is where things get interesting. So I said at the start, when we were talking about the new news, that, rerun banner and Hero Festa. Well, the Hero Festa that is coming up, which, yes, there is a Hero Festa coming up, as you could already see by the title and everything, isn't actually related to Sword of Rotoria Volume 10. In fact, it is related to episode Freya. We're getting a new Otoro and Alan Hero Festa gacha. I am shocked. I am genuinely shocked that they decided to go for Otoro and Alan. I genuinely was expecting them to do Eyes. I thought Eyes made a lot of sense, because Eyes not getting a Hero Festa yet, with her being one of the most popular female protagonists in the series, is shocking to me. It is genuinely shocking to me. The fact that Alan got a Hero Festa before the likes of Lily, Eyes, Lefia, or Hestia. Hestia is a little less likely because we don't have a Hero Festa assist yet, right? I expect it to be during the anniversary, of course, but the fact that we haven't gotten Eyes, Lily, or Lefia first and foremost is surprising as all hell to me, to be honest. We have Ryu, of course, which made a lot of sense. Belle makes a lot of sense as well. Alize, I guess, makes some sense, and then Astreas getting a Hero Festa also makes some sense, because Astreas has never had a unit, and it's from one of the most significant moments in Danmachi history, or the Danmachi timeline. So it made sense for all of these 4 characters to get their Hero Festas, but Ai's not getting one yet, nor has Lily gotten one yet, nor has, Hestia gotten one yet, nor has, I would say, Lefia gotten one yet. It's a bit of a surprise. It is a bit of a surprise, but still, their artworks, Otoro and Alan's artworks, are beautiful. They're genuinely beautiful. Alan's is insane, even, I would say. Look at Alan, man. Look at Alan's art. That art is just beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. The banner format is exactly the same as before. The first draw, second draw, third draws are all 3-star guaranteed, but at discounted prices. The fourth pull is a 4-star guaranteed, and then the fifth pull is a guaranteed new Hero Festa, and it has 4 rounds, so 20 multis to max out this gacha, 6,500 iris basically. And the old Hero Festas will also be on this banner basically. Now the thing is, right, we actually don't know what the rates are going to be for the old units. Now in the previous banner, the one we had with Ryu and Alize, Belle's rates were 0.5 and 0.5. Belle and Astreas' rates were 0.5 and 0.5 respectively, so the old Hero Festa gacha rates was 1%. Now I do think that they will obviously add Ryu and Alize to this banner along with Belle and Astreas, but I do expect it to basically cut the rates of Belle and Astreas even more so. So 0.25 for Bell, 0.25 for Astraeus, 0.25 for Ryu, 0.25 for Alize. That is how I expect it to be. Now, of course, when the banners do drop on Thursday, we'll probably find out more, but that's how I believe it is going to be. We'll have to wait and see. Now, let's take a look at what these units are capable of doing, of course. Thanks to Jassy for translating all of these units' details. Really appreciate him for getting all of this stuff done and getting it across to us. It really helps us out a lot when it comes to these videos. So Alan has a special arts of Foes Ultra Thunder physical attack with Ultra on God rate, skill damage plus 100% per self agility buff. So that means he gets a 200% damage boost from his special arts, because if he has an agility buff from himself as well as a assist, that's an easy 200% right there. He also gives himself STR, agility, penetration rate, and thunder attack damage plus 100% for 5 turns. Insane. That is genuinely insane for PvE contents. It is ridiculously good. And 80% MP heal as well as 4 additional actions of Foes High Thunder physical attack with Ultra on God rate, skill damage plus 70% per foe agility debuff, which is really good and very easy to get. And one more thing to add on top of this, a high modifier on an additional attack along with 140% extra damage through the debuff or the additional debuff effect is ridiculously good. It's very strong, and I genuinely think that, you know, metas are gonna slightly change, especially when it comes to PvE content more so, because you're gonna probably want to run some sort of like you're probably going to want to use Alan's special arts very early on, actually, in order to basically get these additional effects going off and being able to deal this extra damage basically through his additional actions. So that's something to bear in mind. But not only does he give himself 140% damage, he also gives allies thunder attack damage, agility, god rate, and slow res 100% for 4 turns. Now, the thing is, right, this will seem to be really good, especially for game modes like war games. But the thing is, you rarely see your special arts in war games unless you're going up against, like, say, Stall or something, for example. That I don't think it's going to be as valuable as some may think it is. But I do think for PvE contents, it's going to be really good. His first skill is 115 MP, Foes Fast High Thunder physical attack with Ultra on counter rate and agility and thunder res minus 40% for 5 turns, and self thunder attack damage, agility, god rate, and slow res 100% for 5 turns, and adds 3 additional actions of Foes High Thunder physical attack with Ultra on god rate, skill damage plus 50% per foe agility debuff, and self thunder attack damage, agility, god rate, and slow res plus 100% for 5 turns. Interesting. Now, this is very interesting to me. So he basically gives himself very similar buffs as his initial first skill, right, on his additional actions, which makes me believe that he's actually going to be very interesting to use when it comes to war games, right? Of course, he debuffs the enemy's agility as well in his first skill, which is really good. But along with that, him giving himself agility as well is really nice. But the thing is, right, because it's a fast high thunder physical attack, it's fast first and foremost, which means he's going to go ahead of units like Vesta as well as the Bell and Ryu anime gacha units that can debuff and strip away your agility buffs. It kind of makes that part a little bit less valuable, but the fact that he gives himself that agility buff as well through his additional actions makes him a little bit more valuable. The fact that he also gives himself slow res 100% is very interesting as well, because that means he'll never go slow basically. That's really strong, especially if you're going up against the likes of an ailment team or something. His second skill is 82 MP, Foes Fast Super Thunder physical attack with ultra penetration rate and god rate, counter rate, and heal rate minus 50% for 4 turns, and he gives himself STR and penetration rate plus 70% for 4 turns, and foes remove agility and P-res buffs and HP regen. Wow. Okay, so he's able to remove agility buffs on the second turn. Interesting. Okay, I really like the look of this Alan. I'm curious to see what teams he'll work on. I mean, based on what he's doing, right? The god rate removal, counter rate removal, along with all the additional effects he's giving himself on his first skill and his additional actions. Obviously, he looks like he's gonna be able to break through Stall, and also kind of help out with removing agility buffs and going first for the entire team. I do think that he'll work extremely well with Finn, and this is something I mentioned in my Should You Summon for Finn. I said that if the next Hero Festa is actually Thunder, which of course Alan is right here, I genuinely thought he was water first and foremost, I'm not gonna lie. Even though he had the lightning effects and everything, I thought the blue aura meant it was kind of some sort of like weird water thunder unit, basically, where it's primarily water but he does thunder attacks, but he is actually Thunder. Going for Finn is not a bad idea now because of this Alan. I genuinely believe that to be the case. So I'm curious to see how he's going to work with Finn. I think we're going to have to wait until the whales and, you know, top players will have to test that out and see what happens there, because I think Finn plus this dude is going to be really, really good. His third skill is a simple full fast super thunder physical attack with ultra critical rate, skill damage plus 100% per self agility buff. He'll be good for PvE contents as well, I think, especially with that 200% damage boost, right, on his special arts as well as his third skill. I think he'll be good for single target PvE contents as well as AoE target PvE contents. Plus 45% water res, counters our full thunder physical attack and extend status debuffs by 2 turns, thumbs up there. 35% strength, agility, dexterity, 20% damage on crit and pen, worm killer, 45% damage reduction on guard, and 20% damage on penetration. Now, these two I assume are on limit break 1 and limit break 3, or limit break 5, sorry. So once he's plus 1, he'll get the 45% damage reduction, and then 20% damage on penetration will probably be at plus 5. I actually don't know what gets a buff on plus 3. I assume it will have to be his first skill. The fact that his first skill is the strongest and the largest by a considerable amount in terms of text, I assume his first skill gets the big buff at plus 3 basically. So if you want to update his first skill, you want to get him to plus 3 basically, is what I gather from this. Now let's take a look at Otoro. So Otoro is an earth unit, kind of predicted because of his brown aura around him, right? Otoro's special arts is Ultra Earth physical attack with ultra penetration rate, skill damage plus 120% per self STR buff. Interesting. So 240% damage boost there. So much better than Alan there. And 30% HP lifesteal and remove status buffs and afflict seal. Oh, is he ailment? Is this our first ailment Hero Festa unit? Okay, let's see. S1 is 127 MP, foe super earth physical attack with ultra on counter rate and temporary strength boost and 40% chance to stun. Yeah, he is our first ailment Hero Festa unit. Okay. And self P-res, M-res, and heal rate plus 60% for 6 turns and adds 4 additional actions of foes mid-earth physical attack with penetration rate, skill damage plus 60% per self STR buff skill and 30% HP steal and afflicts taunt for 1 turn. Okay, so yeah, this guy is definitely going to be a real addition to the ailment team, and he's going to be really good because 1, he gives himself a 40% stun chance, and then his additional actions give a guaranteed taunt effectively, which is really, really good. His second skill is a self fast 40% of max HP shield, so he gives himself barrier. Wait, okay, so Alan doesn't give himself a barrier. Interesting. So is he the only... I think Alan is the only one that doesn't give himself a barrier. I'm pretty sure Elise gives herself a barrier. Let me just double check Elise. I'm not sure on Elise. Of course, I know that, we know that Ryu gives herself a barrier. We know that Astreus and Belle give themselves barriers. I don't remember if Elise gives herself a barrier, but I do think that Alan might be the only unit to not actually have a barrier. But okay, so fast 40% of HP, max HP shield, removes self P-res and M-res, and AoE ST damage take. Okay. I was about to say, why does he remove his own buffs? But it's debuffs. So he removes any P-res and M-res debuffs as well as any AoE and ST damage increase debuffs as well. So anything that, increases damage on us, they're removed basically. Self STR earth attack damage and critical rate, penetration rate plus 70% for 4 turns, and foes 40% seal. Does he just give every sort of ailment here? He gives stun, taunt, and seal. Wow. Yeah, ailments are going to be a little bit rough now. I think ailments are going to be a rough matchup to face, especially if you're going to up against this Otoro. That's going to be insane. S3 is a single target super earth physical attack with ultra penetration rate, skill damage plus 120% per self STR buff, and 30% HP steal, and afflicts seal, not steal. Bro, them putting steal and seal together is really annoying. Okay, I think he's also going to be a really good PvE unit, especially because we have the likes of Alkitian as well, who gives 25% earth attack damage, right? So really, really good in that regards. Now I do hope that in the future they need to introduce maybe potentially some more null ailments, because this guy is going to be a menace with how many ailments he's able to inflict and deal to us. I think we're gonna need a couple of null ailment units. Honestly, it is really gonna be necessary, I feel. Now, I'm taking a look at Hero Festa Elise, right? I wanna actually see, does she give herself a barrier? No, she doesn't give herself a barrier. She gives herself null attacks, of course, right? But she doesn't give herself any sort of HP barrier. Interesting. Okay, so that means the only unit that doesn't give themselves barriers, at least when it comes to Hero Festas, is Alan and Elise. Okay, fair enough. Now, in terms of passives, 45% Thunder Res, counters on RA or Earth physical attack, 35% STR, endurance, agility, dexterity, 30% damage on crit, 30% damage on penetration, worm killer, and they both, so Otoro's +1 and +5 or 25% P-Res and M-Res and 10% HP and MP regen per turn. Interesting. S3, I assume his limit break 3 skill, so the skill upgrade he gets at +3 is probably for his S1, I assume. I assume that to be the case. If you guys watch the live stream, you guys can let me know and confirm if that's actually the case. Very interesting. Otoro and Alan are both very interesting units. Otoro can easily go on either ailment or I think he can go on either ailment or stall, in all honesty. I think that to be the case, but Alan, I feel, is going to be part of a stall breaker / physical rush team for sure. I think especially with Finn, maybe Helga, I think those 3 units, I would say, together will probably be able to dominate a lot of players. I would say that team is going to be insane, so be on the lookout for that sort of setup as well, to be honest. All right, let's take a look at what else they announced in the live stream. So Hero Festa Gacha, of course, they have the whale paid banners, basically, right? So one time only for Otoro, one time only for Alan. They're giving 1,000 iris. The way to get 1,000 iris, basically, they've mentioned here. So 400 iris from clearing part 1 of the event. The second way of getting 1,000 iris, or the other ways of getting up to 1,000 iris, is through this login bonus. So 200 iris from the login bonus, so 600 so far, and then 400 iris for doing the retweet campaign. So make sure to go over to their Twitter and Facebook and make sure to retweet or share the post they make, basically, or leave a like, basically. So it's 1,200 reactions in total across both Twitter and Facebook. So make sure you guys do that, because it's a free 400 extra iris, basically, on top of the other ways we're getting 600 iris, basically. So make sure to get that 1,000 iris for yourselves. Now, let's take a look at this. So Hero Festa bundle, Pinnacle / Wheel Song. So Festa 4-star guaranteed 11 draw ticket, Festa 11 draw ticket ×2, 4-star guaranteed ticket ×1, and Ascension Fallen ×15. So this is the first time we've got a bundle. First and foremost, I'm pretty sure that this is the first time we've gotten a bundle. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first time we've gotten a bundle. But also, furthermore, they have confirmed that there is going to be a special bundle that will be purchasable using money. Yes, an iris with Hero Bond adventure. So this Hero Bond is a free limit break for any Hero Festa, and it's specifically Hero Bond Adventure. You get 800 iris as well as this Hero Bond Adventure, and it's available for $60, 85 Canadian dollars, 50 pounds, and 60 euros once per account. So this is them basically introducing now the new ways to get bonds for these characters. We already knew that these Hero Bonds were going to be available inevitably through maybe paid bundles or something like that. This is the first time they're introducing it. Now that they've introduced this bundle, they will probably introduce it 1 or 2 more times for sure. And then after that, I think we're going to be getting the free ways of getting these hero bonds, which is probably going to take a very long time to be able to get one of these bonds. But I do believe they'll start introducing them probably around the anniversary time is my guess. But yeah, they're making these now paid for sure. I mean, this was going to happen anyways. If you didn't think this was gonna happen, you probably were, I don't know what you were thinking, to be quite honest. I don't mean to be rude, but these are gacha games. They were gonna make these paid anyways, but there will be a free way to get these inevitably. This is what all these gacha games do. I remember in Dokkan Battle, for link level keys, right? This is a way to basically enhance a part of your unit, basically. They were only paid for the longest period of time, and then during the anniversary, they gave them out a little bit more freely. Now, since then, I don't think they've given them out freely, but I do think in the near future they'll start giving out these hero bonds for free here and there. It's not going to be very common, but they will give them out for sure. All right, so let's take a look at the schedule. So on this Thursday, we're going to be getting part 1 of episode Freya's Rerun. We're also going to be getting the bundles and the Hero Festa gacha as well. We're going to be definitely summoning for the Hero Festas, of course, that day itself. It's going to have to be recorded, unfortunately. I was hoping I could go live with the summons, but it's going to have to be recorded this week as well, due to, of course, family being around. War Games is coming this week, and one thing that they mentioned is that this War Games is going to be a precursor to a familiar War Games. Now, one thing to note as well, that it has been recognized, and now that it's happened again, it's going to be a pattern is that whenever we get a Hero Festa gacha, pretty much take it as a sign that Familiar War Games is coming soon, be it normal Familiar War Games or Master of Familiar War Games. Either one will be coming basically. On Friday, they're going to start the login bonus basically. Next week, we're going to be getting the second half of the Heroic Trials for the manga event. Of course, if you haven't checked out the first part of this Heroic Trials, you can go check it out. I go over what unit you should probably choose. We'll talk about these units when the event drops as well, of course. And then the next week, we have Otoro's Record Buster as well as the restart of a new Telskira Abyss season. So be sure to take a look at that. And then on the 20th, we have part 2 of episode Freya's Rerun. Now, one more thing they mentioned was that on the 18th of April, there will be the next live stream. I assume that's when we'll get the next event after Sword Art Online Volume 10, the next new event as well. So, of course, take a look at that. Now, when it comes to this Hero Festa, of course, I'm going to do a Shuri summon and everything. But I think these units are very, very strong and very, very interesting. And, of course, I always say this to most players, you know, summon for the big banners, and a Hero Festa banner is definitely a big banner. So make sure you guys summon on these banners because the next Hero Festa will probably be during the anniversary, I think. I think they're going to wait until the anniversary for the next Hero Festa. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys think of all the news that dropped today. And of course, I will see you guys on the next video. Of course, if you guys watch Danmemo content, I'll be back on Thursday to summon for the Hero Festas. And of course, tomorrow, I'm going to be giving you guys my final impressions on the Danmachi Beta Chronicles. I mean, it is a beta game, to be quite honest, and we'll talk about that in tomorrow's video. But my final impressions for Danmachi Battle Chronicles beta test will drop tomorrow. So be sure to take a look at that video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.